I do apologize for only getting one video out yesterday. But let's see, on top of doing videos every day, I ran a session Friday for an in-person group, one of two. On Saturday, I ran a session online. And then I ran one for a different group online last night. And neither one of these groups are the same as the in-person groups that I run for. It's all good and I can handle the insanity. But I'm just warning you, some days, when I'm dried up, you might only get one video. I'm not really good at doing this whole come to you with my adventure and tell you what happened thing. Like, all the excitement for my game is during gameplay. It's, me and the players will talk a bit off and on about it before the following session. But the most interesting part of the game is during gameplay. It's really boring afterwards or beforehand. It's really going to be exciting what happens in-game. If the explanation for your session is more interesting than the actual session, you got an issue you got to fix. So let's talk about last night's session. It's part of the third campaign that I pitched online. I will link the pitch below so you can go hear, what the campaign is about and where the characters are starting. Once you check that out, some of what I'm about to say will make more sense. So after the characters talk for a bit, they agree to go see this wizard. When they arrive, they find out that the wizard will only see the female character. The characters do talk this out, but they agree to allow the female character to go in and meet with the wizard, and the others head back to the inn. At least that's what they do. What they agreed to do was the others were going to go around and get information, but on their walk, they decide, screw it, let's just go back to the inn. What the female character of the group finds out is that this wizard hates men. All men, human men, elven men, dwarven men, any men. Despite all this, she will help that character and the group get home. She gets the character to leave some material of the clothing she was wearing when she first arrived. When she went through this monster and appeared on the scene. She wants to test it to see if she can understand it and see if she can actually help them. They work that out before the female character leaves and agrees to come back the next morning for an answer. The other characters on their way back, they run into a group that looks a little conniving, like a thieves group, like a gang. Well, the criminal character sees them and then tries to communicate to them, talk to them. It's funny, it's a lot of fun, there's a lot of ha-ha in the interaction, but what happens is the character agrees to go with the group and maybe be introduced to the rest of their gang members. The group is called Minra, and when this character gets over and meets them, they meet the leader. And then the leader says, so do you want to join Minra? And the character says yes. Next thing you know, the character's up against the wall with knives being thrown at his private parts and his head. When they first put the character up against the wall, right away the player had their character try to leave, and then he got threatened. Against the wall, you've already agreed to this. So he decides, okay, bow the head, go back to the wall. And then, through some really, really lucky dice rolls, he was able to, not show fear when they were throwing the knives at him. At the end of it, they're happy. They accept him, and he is now part of their group. There's some talk, there's a deal made, and a job acquired. After that character heads back to the inn to meet up with the others. During the time that person is off dealing with that Minra group, the female character has arrived back at the inn, and she's going to meet up with somebody there. Somebody from a group called the Nine Tails. It's a female, saying, we are an all-female group, and we want you to join with us. We know about you, we know you're a woman of the cloth, and we need someone like you around. The female character agrees to meet with those people the next day in the afternoon to see if she's actually interested in joining this group called the Nine Tails. Now note, before we get to the next day, that female wizard that the female character went to meet also explained, if I can get you back, what I'll need, the herb that doesn't grow in the wild anymore, that is grown by a friend of hers, it will cost 1,000 gold pieces. Note, at the time, the characters have less than 20 gold each on them, so even adding their money up is not much. And unless they get a job, there is no way to bring in more profit, and it will cost 1,000 gold pieces to get back if they can. The wizard sends a messenger early the next morning to let the characters know the testing was a success. All they need is that herb now, and she can make what is needed to be made to reopen this magical gate or whatever they came through and send them back to where they came from. At this stage, the character that joined that Minra group has told the others that they have a job, and everyone has agreed to go do that job and get, some gold. But they don't rush off to the job. First, the female character goes over to meet with this group called the Nine Tails. And what she finds out is they are another thieves guild, and they're there to counter the Minra. They're in competition with that group. Well, she meets with the leader called Pantera, and after a talk, she agrees that she will join the Nine Tails group. But nothing is that easy. To become a member of the group, she has to magically enslave herself to the leader, have a slave tag on her body. Well, she followed through, and now she is a full-on member of this group called the Nine Tails. Now, what is this job that the other character got for the group? Well, it's simply delivering a package. That's it. Deliver a package 6 days on foot towards the place they have to take the package to. The road, the path to the next place where they got to take the package, it's not secure. There's not a guard tower along the road. There is no real security. The first night goes by smoothly. The next day, they're looking for herbs. They're off the road looking for plants, and they find some. But they also find what looks like a rundown, abandoned church. They decide that they will approach the church, and they do. They can only really see the right side of the church, and as they get closer to it, they see that the windows are smashed out, and that there is a graveyard at the back of the church, and some of the tombstones are on the ground, like they fell over. Long story short, they encounter bandits in the church, and the tombstones didn't fall over, they were kicked over, because these are grave robbers. They likely killed whoever was protecting the area, but the characters were only there for so long. After they had the encounter with the bandits, they defeated them, then they looked into the situation. They found some treasure that these people have dug up and stuff like that, and they found a wagon and horses, and they're taking it all. But before they leave with that stuff, they go into the church only to find out there was some magical seal that seemed to be hidden under some boarding. But it's been torn up, and they seem to put some type of magical, symboling around it, doing rituals and stuff like this. And here are the characters looking at the situation going, what's up? What is this? And they notice that it's a door. Something that was once sealed and now is no longer sealed by magic or whatever was holding it down. They open that door, but after hearing some really creepy noises and not really wanting to push their luck, they run out of the area because green smoke starts coming up, and they abandon a few things in the church. They go out, jump on the wagon, and just ride off from the church in fear. They are back on their way to deliver a package, and that is where the session ended. I don't know if that interests you or if this sounds good or anything. I don't know. I'm assuming people want to know a bit about what I'm doing because I don't do live plays. I do have another video that I can post down below, I'll put another link, and there you can go hear me talk about character death. But if you go down to the comment section, you'll see that my players are commenting on my game, their experience, the whole nine. So if all that matters to you, you can go down, check that out, check out the other link, hopefully you enjoyed this. Either way, for now, take care. You know what you can do? You can hit the like button. You can share the video. Oh, and there's another button you can press. That one that lets you subscribe to my channel for more content. Oh yeah, there's that bell thing. You can press that so you know when I've uploaded a new video right away.